Welcome to the Curate Your Life with Demetria podcast, where we focus on curating the life you've been dreaming of, one goal at a time. Today, we're going to talk about whether the things keeping you from your goals are distractions or life circumstances. So, I didn't drop an episode of the podcast on October 2nd as planned because of life with a capital L. And actually, it was because my dad died. So yes, I see the irony there, and I know that he would appreciate it. So as I was working towards my goal and growing the business, I got the call that I was afraid was coming sooner rather than later, but that I never, ever wanted to get. So I'm sure there will be a podcast on the magic and the love that was Vernon at some point when I can get it out and get through it and honor him in a way that he deserves. But for now, I want to talk about what I did during those weeks after. There were times when I pushed through and times when I folded. And I could have just decided that I was going to get in bed and pull the covers over my head. And really, I could still be there. But I have goals and I have things that I need to do. And I know that he would not want that. He was a hardworking man and an entrepreneur, and he would want me to keep going. But I was a daddy's girl, and I had moments, and I honored those moments, and I did what was right for me. And where I'm going with this is that was a life circumstance that I still am going through and needed to process. And I kept my goal in mind while doing it. I purposely asked myself, what can I do today? And there were days when the answer was nothing, and I was okay with that. But that situation and circumstance is so much different than other situations that we will have to work through and decide whether we want our goals or not. And please know that I am not making light of my dad's passing, but I want you to get the difference, to understand what I mean when I talk about the difference between life circumstances that make it virtually impossible to concentrate on your goal versus distractions that you allow or sometimes even seek out that get in the way of reaching your goals. I wanted to share my example to give you context, but what I also want to say is that you have to decide for yourself in that moment whether it's a legitimate life circumstance that you need to pivot for and do so without guilt or the need to apologize or justify, or whether it's something that is pretending to be important. And busy is what I hear most of the time. I'm so busy, I can't find the time. And you can prove it. You can show me all of the things on your schedule, all of the things that you have to do. But if you really want to achieve your goal, you won't let those things distract you. You will figure out how to get it done. You have to take an honest look at what can come off your schedule, what can be done by someone else or can be done later, or what does not have to be done at all. But you have to get honest with yourself about busy and whether all of that stuff you're busy with is more important than your dreams. So Stephen Covey has 4 quadrants in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People that can help you get some perspective on things. There are urgent and important things in the top left quadrant. And this is putting out fires, deadlines, problems, or crises that arise. It's being stranded on the side of the road because you don't maintain your car. It's last minute scrambling to meet a deadline that you knew was approaching. And there are not urgent, important things in the top right quadrant. And these things are relationship building, considering new projects, growth activities, preventative activities, maintenance, planning and strategy, rest. That looks like making time for regular car maintenance, planning and scheduling tasks for a project with a deadline. There are urgent, not important things in the bottom left quadrant. These are people stopping in, interrupting, asking for your time, emails, calls, texts, meetings. These are things that call for you to be present and focused on them. People popping into your office, a midday phone call from your spouse to talk about dinner. These things are urgent because they call for you to immediately attend to them. But you can ask that coworker to come back another time. You can have do not disturb notices on, and even if other people don't honor them, you do. You just ignore. You don't have to answer the phone or a text every time your phone rings. And finally, there are not urgent, not important things in the bottom right quadrant. The coworker that drops in with the latest gossip, social media, some calls or emails. These are pure distraction and have nothing to do with your goals or what you want to accomplish. Eliminate these immediately. So when something comes up, please hear my air quotes here, that is getting in the way of what you say you want, ask yourself these questions. 1, where does it go in this quadrant? And then decide if it's something that you want to do, depending on where it falls in the quadrant. If it's in quadrant 4, not important, not urgent, please immediately eliminate it. 2, is what I want right now more important than what I want in the future, more important than my goal? If you have a goal of losing weight or saving for something big like a vacation, ask yourself, do I want the distraction of those fries right now, or do I want to reach my goal weight? Do I want the distraction of that cute jumpsuit on Amazon, or do I want the goal of my dream vacation? 3, will this move me closer or farther away from my goal? Will taking the day off to golf get me closer or farther away from the goal of finishing my book? And if you find yourself constantly giving in and allowing the distractions, ask yourself, do I really want this goal? Because telling yourself that you want to achieve a goal but constantly taking actions to the contrary or taking no actions at all toward the goal kills self-trust. Each time you do something contrary to what you say you want, you take a little chink out of your armor of self-trust. So it is very important to be honest with yourself about what you want and why. On that note, I have a free workshop called the 3-Year Plan, where I walk you through the process of creating the vision and goals for your future. I help you get very clear about what you want for your life, what you really want for your life, and why. And it's so important because, again, if you're saying that you want one thing, but you're always doing the opposite, it breaks down self-trust. So I will put a link in the show notes to that workshop. Or if you are ready to build the life you dream of, schedule a consultation with me and discover how coaching can change your life. You'll find the link for that in the show notes as well. Until next time.